as a UK banking and financial services company, you've evolved to meet the needs of large companies as well as small companies and individuals. You have, 13 brands within your portfolio, including NatWest, RBS, and Coots. How do you go about deciding media allocation across these brands? I guess, there's probably some inherent challenges to that. Potentially sort of spreading the budget too thin. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first thing to say, this is a challenging thing, and if I'm being completely transparent, something we're still learning about every day. But what I'll talk to is the 4 key things that I've learned over, especially the last 5 years doing this, and hopefully it'll be helpful no matter if you're looking at how you allocate across a portfolio of brands or a portfolio of products or different segments. Bit high level, and the 4 key things, and then I'll go into detail about them. Is the one is always continually think of marketing and media allocation as investment. 2, trying to then create a level playing field for assessment. 3, prioritize and make those tough decisions, and then 4, set the guardrails and be prepared to adapt, which is very relevant to what we're just talking about. But so if I go into them in more detail, so marketing spend as an investment, this is a really basic one, and I think one that we all know, but I think it's also one that we forget. So what you're trying to look at across, for us, the different brands and different areas is where are the opportunities that if you invest that you'll drive that return. And when we think about return, it can be financial return for your metrics that you're trying to move, or return for the customer. And so how we go about doing that is we look at where we're investing, how much, what we're driving from that, and when you break that down, is there any gaps? Does it look like you're over and under investing anywhere? Then also trying to look at the market as a whole, and then do that comparison there and where you think the market's going to go. So you're looking at the opportunities, and then of course looking at how that aligns to business objectives. So then second one is level the playing field. So if you do that in each of your different areas or brands, you're going to know where you want to put your investment, how you're going to return. But then when you're looking across different brands, product segments, how do you then compare that? How do you, compare apples with apples? Because what we want to, in an ideal world, get to is if you have a £1, where would you put that to drive return for the business? And that's where you need to try and create that like-for-like comparison. And I think, and work closely with Matt on this, is econometrics is key. So, you can build the model to help you do this. But, like anything, I'm a big believer that you need to look at multiple sources as well. So, but I think that's one of the key ways that we do that. So I think prioritize, make decisions. So, we know that doing fewer things well is one of the keys to success. And I think this is something that we have a lot of pressure on, because you've got finite budget and you want to do so much, and you've got internal stakeholders who have their own objectives. You've got passionate people that are really behind the different things. So what you need to then do once you've got your kind of areas for investment, you create your level playing field, is then how do you try and make those trade-off decisions, and having alignment on the objectives, where you're going, and then also a good strategy. And one of the things that I've learned and try and continue to reverse is a good strategy will not only help you get somewhere, but it'll help you say no. So putting that lens, and then finally, use also, once you've established where you're investing, how much and why, you then should use that to set your guardrails going in. But just as we were talking, we never knew we were going into this year. So how do you set those guardrails and know that, but then shift continuously through the year? So depending on what you learn, the results you see, the market changes. And one of the ways we do this is we've just started working in Agile. And so that really helps with that, continually looking at that, are we on the right track? Do we need to shift anything? So I think they would be my key tips.
Wow, that is incredible, and so much advice there, Georgia. Thank you for that.